Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Helen of Hope-Filled Journals and Helen Jeanne Designs. Today I'm going to be taking part in a couple of challenges. The first one is from Roxy's Weekly Challenge, and I'm going to be making these journal cards and these tags. She has a weekly challenge, and I believe this is number 25. And I'm combining it with a second challenge from Junk Journaling for Everyone called the Big Bite Challenge. And for that challenge, I am creating 3 journaling cards and 3 tags that I will be using in future journal. And my theme is going to be vintage farm / garden / florals. I'm kind of combining all 3 themes because those are the things I have elements for that I can use for my tags and journals. So if you'll join along with me, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Now what I've done is I've already cut or torn out some items that I'm going to use just to save a little bit of time since I'm making so many. And I'm going to start out with my journaling cards. Set those aside. This first card, what I did is I took my book pages and I glued them together, and I actually made 2 sides that's also I can use as a pocket. So I'm going to decorate just one side right now. And I've got some things that I've already used my distress oxide around the edges. I didn't do it on all the journal cards. I'll do that at the end. But I did do it around my little ephemera pieces. And these are just items that I printed up or I had from books or other kits that I had. And I just tore them. And I'm going to get started on this. I may add a few things, and I may decide I want to maybe draw some flowers to add in. We'll see how much time we have. And part of Roxy, the Roxy Weekly Challenge, what she does is she gives herself 45 minutes, and once she's completed 45 minutes, she's done. I don't know how much time I'm going to have for this, but we'll go ahead and get started. Now again, for time's sake, I'm going to make these rather simple. It's going to be mostly gluing, and I'm just going to use a regular glue stick. And I like to put a little bit of paper underneath. I could do it right on this, but I don't like to get glue everywhere. So I'm going to start on this tag. And this says Vicks Seeds and Bulbs. And this I printed up on Tomo River paper. It's a little bit thinner than your regular copy paper. I like it because it works well in collage. So I'm going to use this as my base for this pocket. And like I said, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. And then I can trim around it at the end. See, it's quite a bit thinner. Not as thin as tissue paper or the napkins, but it is very thin, and I really like to use it for a lot of different projects. Got this bird, this vintage bird. And I believe this was a journaling kit. I don't remember which one. We'll go ahead and let it hang over the edge, and then at the end I'm going to trim it up. So the nice thing about journaling cards is you can use what you have and use up a lot of your scraps. Now I did do a lot of prep work ahead of time. I think for me, what takes the most time is finding what I'm going to use and making the decisions of what I want to use. That I can just spend a long time doing. And then when you're actually putting it together, it doesn't take quite as much time. This also is printed up on the Tomo River paper. It's very thin. Now I could add more to this, but since I'm making so many, I really don't want to take too much time on each one. I like to add a word. And I've got the word hope here. I don't know if I should put it in the middle. I don't want to cover my pocket, but I might want to put it toward the top here. Such big decisions. Well, I think I like it over here. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm currently just decorating the front of this card. That needs a little bit more glue. I may just tuck this under. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this up a little bit. See on the back I've got this, and I'm going to decorate this. What I'm probably going to do with this side is to put a little bit of lined paper before I actually use it. So I like my journaling items to always be ready to use as an actual journal. I like plenty of space for writing. Trim this off. I didn't set a timer. Maybe I should have, but so I think I'm going to tuck this part under also, since I have that pocket. I can tuck that right in. There we go. Whoops, I missed a little spot down here. Little guy just doesn't want to come off. There we go. Now I'm going to take my Distress Oxide and polish it up. Go around the top here. I think maybe make that a little bit more distressed looking, because this is a vintage theme, so I want things to look vintage. This has a little too much white on it, so I'm going to give it some more color. And on the back, I'm just going to do the edges because I'm not done with the back yet. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and finish that off camera. So there we have it. I didn't set a timer, and I didn't count for the time it took me to decide what I'm going to put on it, and the time it took to print up the items. But number one is done. Okay, on to number two. Now this one I did not make into a pocket, but I did glue on lined paper on the back. This is printed. This is not coffee dyed paper, but it's made to look like coffee or tea dyed paper, the vintage look. Again, I like to have places to write, so I will use this as a journaling card, or possibly if this is a gift journal, it'll give somebody else room to write. So I've got a few more items here. This one says perennial. And these book pages came from a book about plants and trees. This is Familiar Trees of America, so it's already got a few botanical images. So hopefully some of those will show through. Just going to kind of get an idea of how I want to lay this out. I've got this word here that says journal. Got a little cart there, wheelbarrow, and some flowers. These are pretty vintage roses. Actually, I think they look like maybe camellias. I can cover this up here, or maybe I can use that. Maybe I'll put this up a little higher. I think I'll do that. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this kind of up toward the middle. I almost wish I had set a timer, because it would be interesting to know how quick I can do this. Not that I want it to be quick. I want it to be quick for time's sake. I usually like to take a lot of time on my craft projects, but for the sake of the video and the fact that I have a long list of things I need to get done today, I am a little bit strained for time, but I really wanted to get this done for these challenges, because today is already Saturday, and I think a new challenge will come out on Monday. So I wanted to get this done. So I can get them posted for the challenge. This is a nice watering can. Again, these are also, most of these are printed up on the thin Tomo River paper. This one's not. This is just, actually I think this is on like a cardstock paper. Make sure I have enough light here so you can see what I'm doing. I love vintage florals. I love flowers in general, but there's so many beautiful vintage floral artwork, and a lot of it is public domain that anybody can use. I like that. Okay, I am going to probably have to cut a little bit of this off, which is okay. But I kind of want a little bit of this leaf to show through underneath. There's that. Let's see, where do I want my wheelbarrow to go? I've got my journal and my wheelbarrow. I would like to leave a little bit of room for writing here. Even though I have writing on the back, I would also like some for the front. I may write something in there. I think I'm going to put my journal there. Maybe I'll put that across the top. That will leave me a lot of room for writing in the middle. That's what I'm going to do. Like I said, I can spend a lot of time just trying to decide on things. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just trying to make quick decisions and just get the job done. Journal. All right, I kind of want to cover the page number, but I don't want to cover all of the words here, but I do want to fit the whole journal word into the, well, I'm cutting my J off a little bit. I think I need to move it over a little bit. because I do want the word journal to be able to be read. There we go. Number 2 is almost done. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to trim off my edges. You'll also note my rounded corners because I went ahead and I used my corner punch to trim the corners. Again, just to save time on the video. Most of you who are watching probably already have one of your own, so you know how they work. They do make the corners look nice on a lot of projects. You can use them on just about any paper craft project, including scrapbooking. All right, so I'm going to take my Distress Oxide and I'm going to put a little more on the front of this just to give it a little bit more of a vintage look. There we go. A little bit on the back. There we go. Journal card number 2 completed. Now I've got one more of these journal cards. And I've got these. This one's going to have a little bit more of the country and farm look to it. I've got the word country. These are some music notes, some flowers. And I've got a few other pieces here I may use if this isn't enough. But I like this because it's already got some of the leaves here. And again, I put the lines on the back already. This one's got a flower, so I want to keep that on. Maybe I'll just do it there. Make sure I keep my flower. Actually, I think I'll cover my book page number. There we go. It's a pretty flower. I like yellow. Yellow is one of my favorite colors because it's bright and cheerful. Of course, I don't know if there's a color I don't like. A lot of my projects I use pinks and oranges, yellows, blues. I think I need a little more to this one. Got my cow, got my country. Got a couple of these other flowers. I might put these poppies. Got my cow. Cow's a lot smaller than the flowers, but that's okay in collage. I think I might do that. All right, again, for this project, it's quick decisions. I'm not going to take hours trying to decide where I'm going to glue my items because today is all about getting the job done quickly and efficiently. Now I have to decide if I want the country there, the country here. Well, I'm going to put my cow on first. we go. I'm gonna leave a little bit of this botanicals to be seen from underneath. Don't want to cover my cow. I think I'll put it down there. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. There we go. Now I'm gonna trim off my edges. Got my lines on the back for writing. Got my corners trimmed. Use my distress ink to distress it up. Like I said, this seems quick and easy, which is what it's meant to do, but I did have a lot of prep work. Again, mostly deciding what I wanted to use, what I wanted to print up, what I wanted to use from books. I think these flowers might have been from a book. They were in my stash of things I already had done, but those might be from a book. There we go. So I've got my 3 journaling cards done. I'll set those aside, and now I'm going to work on my tags. This one's just made from craft paper. These I already have the paper on the back for writing, but they're made from book pages, from the same book pages of these journal cards. As you can see, the beach family trees. I'm going to start out with this craft tag. And I've got a few items already done here. I've got a rooster, the word joy, a sunflower, and some music notes. And get this going here. I don't want to cover my hole. I could re-punch the hole, but I'm going to just try to keep from covering it. I got my flower. I just love sunflowers, especially in the summertime, because that's when they grow. But what's a garden without sunflowers? Kind of the highlight of the garden. There we go. I got my rooster. I think I'm going to put him kind of at an angle. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. We don't have any chickens and roosters, but my kids do. And they're a lot of fun. Watching the grandkids with hold the chickens and take care of them, and they had some baby chicks that they hatched. Fresh eggs. Maybe someday I'll have chickens, but probably not. All right, where do I want to put the joy? I think I'm going to do this, and I may have to just punch my hole again when I'm trimming things up. This one looks like it needs a little bit more. So what I'm probably going to do maybe is have this flower stamp. I don't know if I should stamp. Maybe I'll try it. I'm going to try to stamp this flower and then see if I want to color it in. Fun thing about collaging and journaling and crafts is you can experiment. Don't know that I want it to go over that, but I'll give it a go. There we go. Actually, I wanted it to be on the brown a little bit, but that's okay. Now I've got a flower. Got some pens here, so what I might do is color it up a little bit. Add a little bit of color. I'm not sure if I have a darker yellow. I think a little bit darker yellow would look better, but don't really have one. This one's kind of a orange yellow. Posca paint pen. This is the Tombow brush pens. Well, not sure if I want to use the paint pen because it'll cover up the black if I get it on there. Or if I want to use the brush pen. So maybe I'll try a little bit of both. See which one I like better. Yeah, I like the brush pen. I'm not even going to try this one because I don't want to cover up the black. Can you see that? Give it a little bit of color. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I'm just going to give it a little bit of color. Not even worried about the lines. I'll probably take my orange instead of the brown just to give it a little bit of extra color and go a little bit in the middle. Maybe leave a little bit of it white. That's good enough for me. All right, so I'm going to cut off my edges. Oops, I think what I did is I glued it down. I'm going to cut off my edges here. Trim them up. Oh, I forgot to show you. I had a stamp of 1 Corinthians 13 and I stamped that on there. So rather than journaling on the back of this one, I've already got the writing from the stamp. Love is patient, love is kind. There we go. And I've got my hole punch here in case I need it, which I obviously need it right now. Just going to trim away this part where I went over it. There we go. Another tag done. I've got some string here for my journal tags. All ready to go. And there you have it. Journal tag number 1. The verses on the back. And what I'm going to do is add a little bit of this vintage ink, distress ink, a little bit on the back. It's not going to show up as much on the craft paper. Maybe put a little going through it just to kind of highlight it. There we go. Journal tag number 1. Okay. Now, I've got a couple more to do. These 2. And I'll see if I can get through these so that this video isn't too long. All right. Now, got some more things that I've already got cut out. So I am going to see how I want to place them. This is a little V, for my last name starts with a V. It's got the flowers. So I am going to put these first. Yep, I'm just going to play around with it. I have to admit, I've got some chores waiting for me, but I wanted to get this taped. Another reason for a little bit of my wanting to get through this quickly is because there's always chores to be done. Got to do some painting today. So got to do all the prep work for that. It's not quite as fun as this kind of painting. Or actually, I'm not doing painting here, but craft painting. Painting on the house or around the house just doesn't have the same, what do I say, the same flair to it, same enjoyment. Got my dragonfly. Dragonflies go with the garden theme. Sticking to there. I'm gonna put that, kind of gonna make it go sideways. There we go. Now I want to put my V. I think I'm going to put it down here. Don't want to cut off any of the letter. It's like a monogram with the flower on it. I thought the sunflower went with the garden theme. There we go. And I've got my wording here. It says faith, and I'm just going to put it right there, right across the middle. Uh-oh, stuck there. Right across the middle there. May need something for this corner here. I don't want to cover my dragonfly though. I think what I'm going to do is trim this one down a little bit, so I'm just going to tear it. Put it right there. All right. Right there. Now I'm going to trim this down. Didn't go over the edges too much this time. You know, I think I'm doing too much talking. If I weren't doing so much talking, I could speed up the video a little bit. But what I'm going to have to do is just play it in real time so that you can hear all of my comments. There we go. Now I'm going to add my distress ink. Kind of make it look a little more distressed. Add a little bit to the back. Got my writing paper. And I'm going to add one of my strings. There you have it. Journal card number 2. I've got one more here. Got my little ephemera here. Got another sunflower. This one I had already glued on. I was going to use it in the past for something and I never finished it, so I thought this would be a good time to use it. I just added some paper to the back. I got my big sunflower. That's going to be front and center. So I am going to glue away. A little bit messy here. Okay. I'm going to put that right in the middle so a little bit of the music notes will show through. If you've never tried using Tomo River paper for your collage work, it's worth giving it a try because you can use your printer to print it up without putting any cardstock paper with it. It printed up fine on my printer. Well, I probably should have put the flower a little bit lower. I think I'll put the weather vane down here. I don't want to cover up my whole flower. But I've also got my chicken. Yep, there we go. May have to put a little something else at the top. I'm going to end up covering my music notes here also. Turn it a little bit sideways so I don't cut off all of the horse. Or my weather vane. Yeah, I'm covering up most of the music notes. Got my chicken. You can't have a farm or country living without chickens and roosters. What's a farm without fresh eggs? I probably should have used this one. Well, I think I'm going to use the rest of my lupins. My lupin that I cut off from the other one just to kind of give it a little more at the top here. My paper's getting filled with glue. All right. At least make them go the right direction. Somewhat. Whoops. I think I'm getting a little too much into a hurry, which there's no reason to hurry. It's just I know I have a lot to do today. I'm sure you do also. There we go. Got words. This says words. Do I want to put it down there or do I want to put it up here? I like it at the top. I'm going to put it right there. We use a lot of words. I hope all my words are good words. Okay, I'm going to trim this up. All right, I did it. My final tag. I accomplished my 3 tags and 3 journal cards. Add a little bit of distress ink to the edges. A little bit on the back. There you have it. I've got my 3 cards, my 3 tags, I should say. And I've got my 3 cards. I've got my pocket card, my 2 cards with room for writing on the back. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you'll take part in some challenges. Again, this is for the Big Bite Challenge with Junk Journaling for Everyone. And I also included Roxy's weekly challenge because she was doing these journaling cards. So I was able to combine two into one project. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy journaling, and thanks for watching. If you would please hit the like and subscribe buttons, it would help me a lot, and that way I can produce more videos and keep going with this. Happy crafting!